Hi, and welcome to Baking for Paws. I'm your host, Jessica Kale, and this is a weekly web series created by me for you to teach you how to make gourmet treats for your four-legged friends. Today, I'm going to teach you the essentials that you need to make these amazing treats in your home. So, let's get started. Let's get started with the pantry list. Here are a few dry ingredients used frequently in the recipes that I will be demonstrating. Keeping them stocked and handy will make it easier for you to bake fresh, quality treats for your pet any day of the week. A few of these items are found in specialty stores or natural food stores, such as Whole Foods or Sprouts. These items will be the brown rice flour, the whole wheat flour, the oat flour, and the oat brand. The oat brand can be found in the bulk section of any natural food store. Now, moving on to the stuff that you can buy at any grocery market, you're going to want to go with pure honey, natural applesauce. Make sure that there's no sugar in this applesauce for the safety of your pets. The next thing you'll need is some peanut butter, all natural peanut butter. You can also grind your own peanut butter. It's very easy to do, but it's up to you what you'd like to do. Then you'll need chicken broth or beef broth, and then you can use canned salmon or tuna, whichever you prefer. These items will also make it so much easier if you just have them handy and on stock. The next thing are the few things that you should have on hand in your refrigerator or in your freezer. If you freeze these items, please remember to defrost them before you take them to go ahead and bake with. It's really important that you make sure that these things are cooked properly for the safety of your pet. The things that you need on hand are shredded cheese, grated Parmesan cheese, any cheese that your dog prefers, as long as it's healthy for them, chicken or beef livers, eggs, bacon, ground chicken, turkey, or beef. And again, when I'm showing you the recipes and how to make them, it's really important that you follow the preparation and cooking of the meat to ensure the safety of your pet. I have found that the more effort and mess that goes into making treats, the less likely you are to want to bake them ever again. So, through my experience, I found that certain tools in the kitchen help make this a little bit more efficient and less messy. The first tool that I really enjoy using is the food processor. It can not only grind up the food that you need to, such as the liver or the chicken, ground beef, but it can also make peanut butter and mix the dough for you. The next thing that you'll need are some cookie cutters, but if you don't have cookie cutters, don't worry. You can just use a glass or your hand to shape the form of a cookie. The rolling pin is essential because sometimes you have to roll out the dough to make it flat so that you can cut the shapes. So a rolling pin is something you really want. The next thing is measuring spoons and measuring cups. These two items are essential no matter what because we want to make sure that we're measuring the proper amount in each treat. The next thing that helps with the cleanup is the parchment paper. Parchment paper is great because all you have to do is lay it on top of the cookie sheet that you'll be using, and then when you're done, you throw it away. Voila, you're done and it's clean. The next thing is the cooling racks. Cooling racks are great because you want the cookie to completely cool before you move on to the next step, which is usually placing the topping. If the cookies are warm when you go to place the topping, it'll just melt. So you want to make sure that your cookies are completely cool before you go ahead and do the topping. Some people prefer to use latex gloves or food handler gloves when they're making these because the treats can sometimes tend to get a little sticky and messy. I don't like them because I feel that it makes more of a mess, but if you prefer that, feel free to use those. You'll also need some timers. I always have 2 timers because usually you have 2 batches going at different times. So it helps to keep things in order and so that you don't burn your cookies. But even if you do, I'm sure that your animals will still enjoy these amazing treats. The next thing you'll want are some cookie sheets. You can also use muffin pans or cake pop pans to make different shapes and depending on the size of your dog. You'll want some cutting boards, a mixing bowl, some spatulas, and then my ultimate favorite is the KitchenAid mixer. If you don't have an electric mixer, that's okay. It'll just be a little bit more work for you because you have to mix everything by hand. But however, if you do have a mixer, it makes things a breeze. Just a little bit of a reminder, baking treats is not rocket science. Things can easily be exchanged, added, or omitted depending on what you have available or what your pet particularly likes. All recipes can be easily adjusted. If you are making substitutions, please remember to watch the dough's consistency. So if it seems a little too dry, add a little bit of water. If it seems a little too wet, add a little bit of flour. Also, when baking the treats, if you made any substitutions, watch the baking time because sometimes if you put the treats in and they brown a little too fast, you want to make sure and pull them out a minute or two early. Or if they seem a little bit raw still, let them cook for a few more minutes. By keeping an eye on all these things, it will help ensure that the treats are cooked properly. Whether you overcook them a little or undercook them a little, I'm sure that your pet will still enjoy them and be happy that you went out of your way to make these delicious treats for them. The recipes that I'll be showing you are made to be as simple as possible, so please use whatever you have on hand to form and shape the treats. With each recipe, I don't know the precise amount of how many treats can be made from each batch. So if you happen to have a small dog like a Chihuahua or a cat, you'll make the treats a little bit smaller. But if you happen to have a large dog or cat like a lab or a tiger, you'll want to make them a little larger. But it's up to you and your pets and what you have on hand. Most of the recipes are about the same size. Once you've made one, then you'll know what to make for next time and how many will come out of each batch. Soft or crunchy? You know your pets well and what they like. So if you need a treat to be a little bit softer because you have an elderly pet or you have a small cat or dog, then just cook the treats for a little bit less in time. However, if you want them to be a little bit more crunchy, then what you'll do is you'll cook them for a little bit longer and let them get a little harder. If they don't turn out perfectly, I'm sure your pet won't mind either way. They'll just be happy that you went out of your way to make them something special just for them. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Baking for Paws. If you or your pet would like to be featured on an upcoming episode, please email me at bakingforpaws@gmail.com. And don't forget to subscribe below. Please remember to spay and neuter your pets. I hope you'll check us out on next week's episode. Until then, keep on baking with your furry friends.